SHALAM Port of Spain. Again, this is the I.S.U.P.K. Again, I.S.U.P.K. started out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Again, under, righteous rulership, black rulership. Because again, we are out here to remind our brothers and sisters, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right? And why we call them so-called? Because these were by names that were given by our oppressors, by the people them that had us in servitude. And again, right now here in Trinidad, we're still in servitude, serving, under the oppression of our slave masters. Because again, when you look at the condition that we face, us today as a people, you would see that we are not on top or not ruling anything in this society. Because again, we owns nothing. We always go again to the enemies or our enemies in one of all things. And this was prophesied. Even, Moses, of one of our forefathers, made mention of that in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. And this is why, again, we are out here in the streets of Port of Spain, because we know this is one of the times, that our people will be entrapped or enslaved in their minds with customs and philosophies and following the ways, of the people them that oppress us. And this is why, again, throughout our records and throughout our histories, all these reminders was reminded to us by our forefathers. And when we look at the Bible, which is our recorded history book, it is taught by our oppressor. And this is why, again, because they teach it, they will teach it as a novel or, as a storybook. But all these things that the record is true. And because of our disobedience and because of not following the ways that, the Most High God, our Father, provided or made pathway for us as a people to run this place in righteousness, this is why we sit at the seat or the bottom, or as we say, in a low state in this society. And all these reminders, again, would be reminded unto us today. And as we come out here again on this, as we say, Friday evening, on the day, as you say, just before the eve, of that wicked and pagan custom, which, was celebrated by our oppressors, and our fathers, reminded us that we should not follow these customs. This is why, again, we could go straight into the records, and this is why your pastors or your imams or your religious leaders would be charged. They would be charged because why? They were to teach you as a people and us as a nation that we were not to follow these customs. We were not to follow these ways. We were not to partake or patronate in something that would turn us from serving the Most High God or power. And this is why we are out here. And the prophets of old did the same. Just, as we say, what we pray for is that the Most High God will bring destruction to this earth. Your pastor will pray for peace. And the prophets of old never prayed for peace. Because now, why? Because we are not in that place of rest. All these heathen would sit on their seat and they are in a place of rest because now they're enjoying the lavish lifestyle or the ways that, that their fathers had laid before them. And their fathers were murderers, were thieves, were robbers. And this is why we would always be reminded or reminded us as a people by these records that we were not to partake or patronate in these customs. And this is why the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, again under commanding General Yahanna, has been teaching or bringing out this truth to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians since 1969. Because why? The Lord is doing something in the earth right now. The Lord is bringing a change or bringing our society to their knees. Because now, far too long, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have been suffering at the hands of our oppressors. And this is why today we are going to destroy the lies of Christmas and show where in the Bible that these are not, that this day or these pagan festival or as you say feast days or holidays are not to be celebrated by black people. Because why? We continue to murder our brothers and sisters in John, in Sealot, in Lavantil, as we say in Rima. For what? Just to celebrate one day? Damn that, as you say, damn Christmas. Damn that holiday. Because why? This is not the custom of you, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, right? Remember go to the first scripture, you go to the book of Jeremiah, right? The book of Jeremiah chapter 10, right? So we're going to, as we say, walk through this, and then we're going to read, you know, a part in our history where you know that this custom was not supposed to be celebrated. And again, what they push on all as well on us is eating unclean. And we also go into the dietary law, showing where we wasn't supposed to patronate or put that swine or that pork in our mouth. Right? Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Most High spaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
And this is why we are out here in the streets of Port of Spain. Because we are speaking to the house or to the nation or to the children or to the 12 tribes of Israel. Hear ye the word which the Most High spake unto you, O house of Israel. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Most High, learn not the ways of the heathens.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Go ahead.
And be not made at the signs of heaven, for the heathens are made at them.
Because why? Why don't be surprised at what is taking place? Because these things were taking place way before, as we say, Trinidad and Tobago established. As we say, or one of these islands in the Caribbean established. These things or customs were taken way over place on the, as we say, on the eastern side, where civilization at that point in time had, as we say, was most populated. And this is why we as a people, as a nation, must come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because why? If we don't adhere to these laws, statutes, and commandments, all these, as the scripture say, all these curses, and what we say down on, as we say, people will look at, you know, obscene language, as we say, what we call obscene language here in Trinidad and Tobago, and say it's a curse. But that is not a curse. What you see that you sit on today, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you sit at the bottom of society. You run on a 9 to 5 daily. You serve the people them above you. And who are the people them that are above you? The people them who sit in high power, as you like to say high power. These other nations, the Chinese, the East Indians, the so-called white man, or as you say, the oppressor, the Arabs, the 1%ers. These are the ones who we serve. And this is why Jeremiah, in his reminder, as we say, in his, you know, prophecy, received from the Most High God unto him to warn or bring this reminder unto the children of Israel. And he said, learn not the way of the heathen, or don't be dismayed, don't be surprised at what you see going on here now. Because why? Go ahead.
For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of a workman.
And this is going straight into what is coming up, as we say, Christmas. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the hands of the workman. Again, everybody is, as we say, now you don't have to do that. You could go to, as we say, to all them, as we say, bag one sing, better value, all these, you know, hardwares, all these, as we say, stores, and you can get, as you say, a ready-made tree. But know this was always, as you say, a wicked and an evil custom. And that is why, again, the reminder was to learn not the ways of the heathen. And this is why we remind our brothers and sisters, don't learn the way of the heathen. Don't learn their customs. Don't learn, as we say, their ways. Because why? Their ways would always keep us entrapped or enslaved in this society. Because why? As a good father, the Most High God always provide a way. And this is why we can come and we can read out of our records and show our people that, as the scriptures say, as we say, to turn away from that life of sin. Because why? As we say in the record, it says sin is the transgression of the law. And when we break this, the laws, statutes, and commandments in this book, by not obeying and adhering to them, this is the condition that we'll be in. And this is why our King made mention, or Jesus Christ, which you will know him as, or Yahushua in Hebrew. He said he came not to do away with the law, but to fulfill it, but to bring full understanding. And this is why the Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge under Commanding General Yahanna, is bringing out this knowledge of truth and understanding, because only in this school you would get the understanding. Anyway, outside of the school, they will teach you for their gain, and they will teach you to celebrate Christmas. They will teach you to celebrate New Year's. They will teach you to celebrate birthdays. They will teach you to celebrate Easter. All these heathen customs. And this is why, again, you as a people was governed under righteous rulership, to rule this earth in righteousness. Because again, when you look around and you see at us, we are not ruling, because why? The righteous not in authority. Who ruling? The wicked. The wicked bear rule. The wicked run this place. And this is why, again, we'll always be running on a 9 to 5. But the Lord is doing something. The Lord always remembered us, because now that covenant which he had made with our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he remembered us. He remembered us. And he remembered Jacob 12 sons. Because why? These were the ones that we know that would come after to do what? To rule this place or run this place in righteousness. Israel. And a lot of people here, we say Israel or Israelite and think that that is a religion. We are not speaking about a religion. We are speaking about a race or a nation of people who have turned and moved away from their customs and their cultures and following after the ways of the heathen. And this is why, again, the scriptures is saying, learn not the way of the heathen. Don't learn the customs. Don't learn the ways. Because why? By doing that, this is the condition that will be end up. And as we read in Jeremiah, Jeremiah is bringing that reminder that that Christmas tree that we, as we say, we prepare to worship on that day, that was an old custom, an old ancient custom. Because now the history on it, you could go up on the classes on one of these web pages and you'll see the whole history behind it. Behind who? What was the brother name?
Nimrod.
The brother was Nimrod. Not a brother, but a heathen. I'm just saying brother in the sense because now our people look at skin complexion and tone complexion and feel that everybody black is a brother, but that is not true. That is a lie. Because now the Most High God always separated nations, nation of people. And you is a nation of people. Because today you will ask the question to any brother in the streets and you will say, hey, brother, what is your nationality? And the first thing you would say, you might say is Afro-Trinidadian or as Afro-American or wherever we reside. Or we call yourself a Venezuelan or a Mexican. But this is not your nationality. You would ask the white man or the oppressor, what is his nationality? He says a Caucasian or white man. They would ask the East Indian, what is their nationality? They would identify themselves as East India. The Arab, the Chinese, all these they would identify. But when it comes to you, because of what? Because of this was, the, as we say, one of the worst captivity that we were under. Our identity was stripped because of what? Because of following just this. Following this simple custom and ways, celebrating Christmas, celebrating birthday, celebrating New Year's, and making yourself, as you say, on that day, a God. But when really and truly there's only one true and living power, that is the Most High God, or Yahweh in the Hebrew, the only true and living God that we, as a people, supposed to be worshiping, and not worshiping, but giving honor, because now He gave life and He could take it. And He showed many examples through the records. And this is why we are out here today to do what? To destroy the lies of Christmas, to destroy the lies of New Year's, to destroy all those gifts that you put under these trees. Again, because why? There's a time coming, as we say, the New Year. I just jump in a little bit. That day was an auction day to sell us as slaves. Know this. So it wasn't a New Year. And then we would read in the scriptures where you know that this day, what they call the birth of Christ, is a lie. Because now, as we say, it's a day of celebration. But now, how could you celebrate in the dead of winter? When the place cool? As we say, everybody will say, stay home with your family. But this is a time of celebration. And we all know when we celebrate now, as we say, like this, here we in the Caribbean, here in Trinidad, we can celebrate at any time because now the seasons that we have is, as we say, the rain, and we won't come out when the rain fall, and you know, as we say, we might still do it. But know this, our King Yahweh Jesus Christ was not born on that day. That was a lie. The scriptures just give a time that he was born, but it didn't give a specific date. And that time that he was born was, as we say, in the beginning of spring, or what we know between ending of March, early April. Between there. When things, as we say, things just start to heat up, as we say. And this is why, again, Christmas and New Year's and birthdays and, as we say, all these holidays are not to be celebrated. And what we read over the top again from verse 1.